show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. The #1 daily large crypto influencer in Pulsechain is on the daily grind. Hope you guys are liking it. No, seriously, folks, we got the Bitcoin Takeoff. It's in play. It's in play. It's looking glorious. We got exciting news. I think over the weekend, I think the price is probably going to perform pretty well. But next week we've got some pretty. I think we're going to have the stretch ATM. Back up and running. We got pretty close today. So it's looking good. It's looking good. Obviously, we've still got our geopolitical risk out there, but the fundamentals are looking good for Bitcoin. Takeoff time and play. We're getting that kind of that feeling, that turning of events based on the fundamentals, of course, not based on feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. And it's exciting, guys. It's exciting. We're having new records on the NASDAQ and Dow and S&P 500. And of course, that is looking really solid. It looks strong for growth ahead. We obviously got also Ethereum. I think it's going to have an explosive move at some stage following the Bitcoin grind. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. And Pulsechain, of course, is looking to try and consolidate and find a bottom, maybe over a 6 to 8 week period. Seems to be holding at the moment. We had a bit of a lift overnight, so that's kind of exciting. And I think we're probably heading in the right direction. For the to follow the rest of the bull market up this time. So certainly Richard Hart will be watching that very closely, and you got to get excited. I think you got to get excited. It will be a fun time. It will be a fun time moving ahead. So hopefully everyone enjoys that. I think it will be very cool indeed. What else can we say about that? I don't know. What else can we say? I think we can say that everything is going pretty well, I think. And just get excited. Just get excited. All right. So I think we're going to be looking deep dive. Don't forget to get in the comments there as well. Looks like everything's up and running. I'm not quite sure if everything is going as fresh there. I'm just looking at the social medias there. If you haven't smashed the subscribe on the way on YouTube, definitely do that. If you're on X, don't forget to smash the follow button as well. And also repost the show. That helps a lot there. And I'm just waiting for some of my studio metrics to start populating. So hopefully they'll kick into gear soon. All right, let's go to the stock market, shall we, and have a look at where everything is at. But I think we're looking pretty good. We've got the NASDAQ there, ends above 25,000 for the first time. Can you appreciate that? I think that's pretty awesome, right? That's pretty awesome. Thinking of awesome, we've got Hexgrader in house. Hey, gang, good to see you, Hexgrader. Yeah, if you're watching the show, don't forget to get in the comments. I really do enjoy your engagement there. So go for gold. So NASDAQ ends at above 25,000 for the first time ever as stock kicks off May with records. Woo! So what do we got here? We've got the Dow Jones down to 30%, 152 points to 49,500. So remember, just to give you context of the Dow, it's kind of the top 30 industrials. Hasn't made a new all-time high yet. The last one was in February. Still got a little bit of work to do there, but I'm sure we're going to get there soon. The NASDAQ, though, the S&P 500 is up a third of a percent, 21 points to 7,230. That is a new all-time high level, and we're expecting it to go to 7,700 based on Tom Lee's target. The NASDAQ there, of course, reaching 25,000 for the first time. New all-time high, up 0.9%, 222 points to 25,114. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. Let's look at the max chart. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. That is outstanding, right? That is outstanding. You got to get excited, guys. Got to get excited. We've got the US dollar down at 98. That's pretty similar to what we've had recently. And the VIX there is down at 17. So that's even falling off even more. If we look at the yearly, you can see we're even falling down, getting into really risk-on territory, guys. It is full on. So exciting times. The commodities, we got a cooling off of the oil prices, down 3% on West Texas, down $3 to $102. Brent oil there down 5%, $5.80 down to $108. So a bit of cooling off there. Let's look at the monthly chart on that. You can sort of see West Texas there just cooling off a little bit from the top, and also Brent oil as well. Moving to gold. Gold is up, let's say 0.7%, $32, 4,661, getting a little bit of a bounce there. We look over the last year, we can see we've got higher lows in the gold price, but having a little bit of a jump today. Silver has got 3 lower, we had the high and then we've got 2 lower highs here, so definitely rolled over a bit. And that is, but it is up today, 3.6%, $2.68 to $76.70. And copper has been looking pretty strong at $6, indicating good demand for the economy and boding well. All right, so that is some of the key marks there. Let's have a look at the discussions here with the economic news. We see that the price of oil retracing some of its recent increases, relieving some immediate concerns that a persistently high level will bleed more broadly into the economic landscape. Meanwhile, Apple's strong earnings. So we knew we were going to have the Mag 7 for the Mag 7s this week, with a third of the companies reporting earnings. So we've got more of that next week, of course. Apple's strong earnings, and those are some of the other big tech names this week, are driving prices higher for all these stalwarts that do a lot of the heavy lifting for the capital weighting of the S&P 500. So obviously the Mag 7 leading the way there. Also solid economic data this week, from GDP to jobless claims and today's ISM manufacturing index. Remember, this ISM manufacturing index aligns very much with our bull market for crypto, and it's the last, after 2 years of being under 50, is the last 3-4 months has been expanding, which is perfectly aligned with the fact that Bitcoin's on takeoff time, as long as crypto too. Underpinning the optimistic earnings forecast the analytical community is building for forward quarters, which is being reinforced by the strong earnings delivered for those companies reporting first quarter results so far. So very, very exciting stuff happening there, guys. And of course, the market has been really moving forward there. April was another eventful month as the Iran conflict showed no signs of easing. Oil prices saw large ranges but ultimately remained elevated. Brent crude briefly moving above $120 a barrel, or at least intraday time, for the first time since 2022. And in turn, that raised fears about the stagflation shock, with sovereign bond yields hitting multi-year highs in many countries. The main outperformer in April were equities, which had a very resilient performance despite wider concerns about stagflation and more hawkish central banks. And of course, as we know, Ethereum and Bitcoin did the best performance since the beginning of the war there, after the initial sell-off. So really, really exciting stuff happening there. The Mag 7, of course, stock closed 3.3% higher. So Mag 7, the Magnificent 7, the top 7 companies really lifting everything higher. And so we're getting really good growth, 14 to 17% revenue growth for the quarter. Pretty insane, right? Pretty amazing. And described as a remarkable gross margin outlook of 47 to 48%. This was Apple's first report since surprising the Wall Street with an announcement that current top boss Tim Cook would be replaced by insider John Turnus. So some big changes happening there. Man, some really amazing revenue and margin guidance there for Apple, lifting the markets there. Very, very, very exciting stuff. Now, apparently Iran has also handed over some more, another proposal to via Pakistan in terms of negotiations. And of course, ultimately, the bottom line is Iran not getting a nuke. So that's kind of where we are right now with that. We're doing everything right now in terms of negotiation on the telephone. They've made strides, but I'm not sure if they'll ever get there. That's what the president of the United States added. So we just had a conversation with Iran. Let's see what happens. But I would say that I'm not happy. They've got to come up with the right deal. At this moment, I'm not satisfied. So they're slowly inching. They're buying time and inching away. But of course, their economy is about to go in the doo-doobs there with the oil. Obviously, they've got high inflation and food, unemployment, and everything else starting to really take off in Iran. But actually, the oil flow is about to, with storage and shutting down oil pipelines, and that caused a lot of damage and lost supply in the future. So there's a lot of negatives there. But we'll see where it lands right now. We'll see where it lands. So more peace talks between the US and Iran have to materialize. The other big thing that happened today was that Trump put in the fact that he can only run a sort of a military campaign for 60 days. So he's basically said, "Oh, we've finished our military campaign. We've got a blockade." So he's playing a little tricksy there with his powers. But hey, look, he's got to get to a good outcome at the end. And so if he needs to do another military excursion to put more pressure, as he's put so many assets in that zone, then he can do that. So there's sort of a little bit of a summary of what's going on there. All right. Trump's also getting a new military briefing as well. And of course, no doubt they're working on the option to collapse the Iranian regime from within with the resistance movements, which remember, 89% of the Iranian people don't want the regime in power. So Iranian regime's really fighting a battle on two fronts, one against their own people, the other one against the Americans and the Israelis. All right, so that is some of the stuff happening there with those results. What else are we going to say about that? I think that's it. So let's move on. Actually, what do we have? We had the economic calendar. Let's quickly go to that, I think, before we jump too far ahead. And we had the results out for today. The U.S. manufacturing index growing really nicely indeed. What do we get? Last month we got for April, the U.S. manufacturing PMI, we got 52.7. We expected 53 this time. We got 52.7 again from the looks of it. And actual for the global manufacturing index, we got 54. So we're growing. Anything over 50 is, strong growth, right? Very exciting there. So great results. And this bodes well for the takeoff in Bitcoin and crypto, right? This is one of our two main measures that people are generally pretty comfortable with, aligns itself with expansion of the U.S. economy, and therefore more money being made and more going into risk-on assets, right? So game on. Very cool. All right, so we've got a little video to play too before we get into the crypto market. So let's play that. And that is Tom Lee talking about the stock market. And is it overpriced? Is it like a dot-com bubble? Well, let's hear from Tom Lee about that.
For example, 1 month, okay? In 1 month, the Nasdaq's up. For example, 1 month, okay? You've had in 1 month, the Nasdaq's narrower breadth in the market, you've had to which a bit of narrower Ben Snyder today in the market, says, to sharply narrowing Ben Snyder today has historically indicated equity market drawdown risk. Has historically indicated equity market drawdown from the low in March. S&P's up 14% from the low in March. The median remains 13%, however, below its respective high. Below its respective high. How do you reconcile that?
I think that I'm going to look at this as a series of rolling bear markets. Because we know the Mag 7 and the software stocks peaked a lot earlier than the broader market did. Peaked a lot earlier than the broader market did. But then they led first in our rallying. So I think that in our rallying, we should expect breadth to follow. We should expect pretty textbook because tech is pretty textbook earlier. Several months earlier before the index level. Several months earlier before the index level.
I mean, we're almost at 7,300. As I we're almost at 7,300, 238. As I asked you where I'm looking at right now, 238 is where I'm looking at right now. Where are we going, Tom? I mean, you figured we'd get here because you said as much. You figured we'd get here because you said as much when you thought we hit the bottom. We've come so far so fast. Does that mean we've stolen some from the future and moved it forward? What does that tell us? What does that tell us?
Well, I know. Strong markets tend to, and I'm going to sound not very original, but strong markets stay strong. So I think the strength that we've seen is a good sign. And we also know when we look at the data that institutional investors caught the bottom. But I think in 2026, retail that kind of missed the low. But they have a lot of firepower. So I think it's going to be a retail-driven buying of stocks, and that's why I think broadening can take place. Because as you know, retail investors do like small and mid-cap stocks as well. But
does anything worry you? Does anything worry you? Some of these names, Tom, just are insanely. I'm not saying it's not justified, but the moves are like, are you kidding? I mean, Intel, for example, is double in a month. More so. You have some of the semiconductor names that are up like 70, 60, 50, 40%. And I'm not talking about a few either. I'm talking about, it looks like a dozen or more have had absolutely parabolic moves.
Scott, and it's great to see the recovery because we know that there's shortage. We also have to keep in mind that earlier this year they all went into a cliff dive. The multiples for the most important stocks are still very reasonable. As we know, Nvidia is barely trading above a market multiple and still trades at a discount to what investors pay for safe stocks like Costco and Walmart, which traded almost 50 times earnings. So I think that the market is reallocating capital, which is appropriate. But I think estimates are still too low in AI, and that's why we have low multiples because the earnings are probably even higher than we expect them to be.
Wow.
All right, so you can see there that the PE ratios, the earnings there are still very modest. We're not up at 70, 80, 100 like the dot-com bubble. We've got the AI playing out. I mean, it's still relatively early days. A lot of capital has been spent, and so there's more capital being deployed. More benefits are being made. Is it going to be 50%, 70%, improvement there? Taking out a lot of costs, white collar, blue collar, all sort of stuff is playing out. So, and we've got more earnings season coming up in the next week. Exciting times. So the rally continues. And we had a really strong V recovery there as well. So some good comments there from Tom Lee, I think. Very cool. All right, so we're going to move into crypto now, of course. And let's see where we got Sean O'Malley announced there. Up only, baby. Absolutely. And then we got Hexvader there says, let's go. Alt season. Pretty pleased. Yeah. Even in altcoin season, I think you still need to be in the better stuff, right? You got to get rid of all the crap stuff that you might have and get into the good stuff. Is probably the place. That's all. Just make sure you're in the good stuff there. Total market cap right now 2.68 trillion. We're at 1.5%, and we're still a small market. We got a long way to go to re-rate the old crypto markets. So you're still extremely early where we are right now. Bitcoin right now up 2.1%. So takeoff time for Bitcoin. We're at $78,281 and up 1.1% for the week. So we've just gone green. Very modestly, but we're heading in the right direction, guys. Ethereum there up 1.3% today, up at 2,297, and that is down 1% for the week. So, like I say, I think might have quite a good weekend. We'll see what happens. XRP there is at number 4, up 1%, $1.38. BNB down 0.1% at $615. Number 7 is Solana, up 0.3%, $83.86. Tron at number 8 is up 0.2% at 32.67 cents. Doge there just easing a little bit after having a great week, is down 0.5% at 10.8 cents, but is still up 10.3% for the week. So it's the best performer over the week, and of course benefiting from Elon Musk's X money, which expect to go public, I think, next week. So out of beta and into public use with their fiat component. But I suggest to you that probably within a month, if not 2 months, somewhere in that ballpark, crypto will be added to that as well. And of course, Doge will probably be the chief benefit there since, Elon loves it so much. So there we go. Let's have a look at the top 100 over the last 24 hours. We had Zcash number 1, Tensor Tower, Siren, Pole, and then Bitcoin Cash up there at the moment. So a couple of old names in the mix there over the last week. Blockchain Capital number 1 up 28%. Pudgy Penguins up 9%. Tom Lee's favorite meme coin. Dogecoin up 10.3%, Providence Hash up 10%, and Tensor Tower up 9.4%. And of course, making a bit of a move in the AIA space is the old Tensor Tower. All right, so that is the top ones there. Let's look at the top 1,000 gainers at the moment. We got Bull Don, Lab, and Unibase there, all making some handsome returns in the last 24 hours. And then finally, trending overall is Lab, Pudgy Penguins, and Unipeg up 120% there, so trending there. So that is pretty exciting stuff. Let's jump over to the next piece of update about that, and I think we've got where'd I go? Bit of news about the Clarity Act. So Clarity Act is obviously been a dog's breakfast. It's been taking ages to get here. We've had a fight with the banks. Well, apparently we have really up until probably the end of May, the 21st of May, I think is the deadline to get this through. If it doesn't, I think it gets stuck pretty much. And then you got midterms November, and some people saying it wouldn't get done until like 2030 or something. But certainly May does feel like the pressure cooker timeline there. and it's pretty important we get it through. Now, I think the markets are rallying anyway. The fundamentals are all heading in the right direction, but this would bring on the banks. It would also open up mass retail via the bank networks, and it also obviously allow a lot of centralized exchanges to continue their move into banking as well, and more broad activities there. White House crypto advisor, it's go time. Clarity Act is a done deal. Well, it's not a done deal yet, but it is definitely heading in the right direction for sentiment. Senate Banking Committee markup is expected to pass by after the May the 8th, and then it has to go for voting, and then, of course, get through eventually to the White House for the president to sign. But it does feel like we've made a little bit of a move there. Patrick Witt, of course, is the White House advisor there. Go time, he says. And the little update there from Brendan was that Senator Tillis and also Brooks have finalized a compromise on stablecoin yield. Punchbowl News has the text, and the Punchbowl News said bans rewards that are economically or functionally equivalent to deposit interest. That is that compromise with the banks. Balances can be used for rewards if companies clear the equivalence test. So, and of course, hey, look, crypto is great at innovating, so I'm sure that will be a good news. And actually, it's probably better than what it was before. So actually, it's come a little bit back away from the bank bias, a little bit over to the crypto benefit there. So pretty cool stuff. So yeah, that is that. So that's looking moving forward. I'm not sure what the prediction markets think about that at the moment, but I'm going to have it at maybe 65%. Let's see where they got that right. So that is moving forward there. Let's see, May. That's what I mean. If that gets pushed through as well, it just continues the momentum. Big incremental step though, right, to the right direction. And what a rally we could have this year, right? This year could be absolutely special. So very cool there. Let's jump into Bitcoin. Bitcoin on Coinbase. We got the 50-day moving average moving up nicely. Look at that. We're at $74,021 now on the 50-day, and the 200-day in orange is at $82,156. So there's about an $8,000 spread there, and we're just in the middle, really, aren't we? Just in the middle at 78,320. Yesterday we had a nice rally. We got to 78,961. Not quite pressing like we did back here on the 22nd and 27th, where we pressed up against 79,500. But boy, are we getting close, and we've got higher lows. Look, all the way higher lows going in here. Look at that, boom, boom, boom. And we've also got this yellow line. Eventually, we continue this up chart. We ended up going to a golden cross, right? That would be pretty beautiful. Exciting times. And of course, I think we've tempered down a little bit on the short squeeze environment. Still got elements of it there, but that would give a turbo boost, as it were, to where we're going here. But so far, momentum looking good. Let's see what the weekend can do. Now, we always got those Sundays, which is Monday down under, where the markets tries to, if there's any slightly negative news, tries to cut out all the longs and liquidate the market. We'll see whether that happens. Bitcoin is slowly running out in the marketplace because everyone's buying it up. So we'll see what happens there. But that's I think we're still looking pretty good for the weekend. We shall see where that heads. All right, so that is a Bitcoin, and we've got a little clip here from Michael Saylor. Why do I say takeoff time? Well, we already know we've got all the ETFs ramping up, new entrances, all the big banks, all accessing all the wealth clients, and all the other different type of institutions out there. We've obviously got large whales accumulating. We've really got a lot of positioning by institutions. We've got US, the governments. We're going to get news about the US government in a week or two as well. So it's another bullish thing we might have around buying Bitcoin. We shall see. And other states around the world buying, right? So lots of different entities, educational entities, all sorts of buying Bitcoin. But Michael Saylor's strategy is really anchoring that. And with his debt market product, preferred stock product there called Stretch. It hasn't been generating any ATM or at the market capital over the last 2 weeks as it goes ex-dividend. It normally takes about 10 days or so, but it got very close to it last night. So we shall see what happens next week on Monday, Tuesday. Monday could very well be the first start, the beginning of that printing as it gets to $100 par. I think we got it to $99.90 overnight, so only 10 cents short there. And we could see either Monday looking very promising or Tuesday at the latest that we get, assuming there's no really negative news out there, that we get momentum to the upside and we start printing money from the debt markets, and that starts buying more Bitcoin. And so this could be a big month. It could keep printing for up until the 14th, and so we could get some really nice printing for, I don't know how many days it is, maybe 7, 8, 9 days, something like that. And we could get definitely into the $1 billion days in maybe the last 2 to 3 days. And that's just an insane amount of Bitcoin buying. And there's just not enough Bitcoin around to do that. There's a couple of million on exchanges, but really a lot of it's to do other product settlements. You really only have much less floating around, a couple 100,000 maybe. So I think it's going to get pretty insane where we go from there. Michael Saylor's got a little bit about the product with the Bitcoin. And of course, I'm not going to watch the video here in this case because it is 6 minutes long. But he says the idea of digital credit is to give a bank account to 1 billion people that pays them 10% without volatility. We've invested 60 billion in a crypto reactor to create 10 to 20 billion a year high yield bank account backed by Bitcoin that will grow 30 to 50% a year. What I would recommend to my friends and family is Stretch. And so far this year already, they've raised, not this year, but over 9 months alone, they've raised $8.5 billion that have gone to buy Bitcoin with. And that's just the takeoff time. So you can see this is going to get pretty insane, guys, where this goes from here. And this month, we're going to raise a couple more billion, no doubt, in the next sort of 8-9 days. And then we're getting to June, and they've currently got a vote on around paying bi-monthly or fortnightly dividends. That's going to flatten out the volatility. So instead of going 10 days to recovery before we start minting new shares for ATM, we'll may get down to 3, 4, 5 days. And therefore we'll be raising a lot more capital. This is not going to be enough Bitcoin around. What happens after that? They can only so much OTC and stuff. There is always a willing seller at prices, right? But it's going to be crazy. The price appreciation could have massive jumps. I'm not suggesting we're going to get to Amiga candles yet, but those $100,000 day jumps in the future, and they're going to be fun to watch, aren't they? They're going to be fun to watch. So exciting times there. All right, so let's jump over to Ethereum. Ethereum right now, we've got the 50-day moving average at 2,248, and we've got the 200 moving average at the moment at 2,600. So we're at about a $350 spread there, and we've got the current price just below 2,300. So we're just off the bottom. So not as strong relative to the moving averages as a Bitcoin, but I suggest to you that Ethereum is just winding up for its move. It's going to be truly glorious. Ethereum there looking very good indeed. Now, just like Michael Saylor is vampiring or harvesting the debt market to pump Bitcoin, Ethereum is bringing over finance, right? Tom Lee is the leading player in that, bringing over finance, and that's going to be through stable coins, tokenization, AI agents, etc. It just goes on, creative influences and things like that. It's going to be pretty awesome, and all of those are just starting to ramp up, particularly the AI agents. It's going to be fun to see that. All right, so let's have a look here. So where we are. So that's kind of where we are right now. I think we're going to get setting up pretty nicely. Once we go, it's going to be glorious. So let's have a look at some of the things that are happening right now with Tom Lee. So Tom Lee, of course, is still heading towards the 5%, just like Michael Saylor is with Strategy. Strategy is at about 818,000 Bitcoin right now. That's about to go next level this in the next 2 weeks, is my guess. And then, of course, we've got Tom Lee continuing to buy more Ethereum. He's been buying about 101,000 ETH a week, which is insane amounts. Remember, there's only 120.7 million, and 32% of that is staked right now. And then you've got him staking as well, and he started ramping it up. Had a bit of a quiet period. Now it's just started ramping up. So very exciting there. Tom Lee, of course, Bitmain stakes $500 million worth of ETH, holds over 10% of the total stake supply now as well, which is another metric that people were excited about. On-chain data from Arkham shows that Tom Lee's Bitmain recently staked approximately 500 million worth of ETH. Meanwhile, Bitmain Emergent Technologies has accumulated and staked more than 4 million ETH. Woo-hoo-hoo! Worth roughly 9.3 billion, accounting for a total of 10.5% of the total ETH staking supply. So you can sort of see the on-chain numbers there going through Coinbase Prime and batch staking there. So very, very cool stuff happening there. Now, obviously, they've been buying more ETH as well this week. At least we've had confirmed about 60K. But I suggest to you we're probably going to get to that close to that 101 is my guess. They maybe do a big buy. I don't know. It might be over the weekend as well. And then we're going to get an update next week. Remember the weekly updates, the 10Qs, I think they are. And that will be next, so 10Ks, and that will be next week. And so we'll get strategies update and Bitmines updates. And that'll be fun. Now, we also had SATA as well that closed off as well. So we're going to get more buying from a lot of these other entities moving forward as well. We got Craig Pittenhouse there. Morning all. Great to see you, Craig. And Pulse Tower there says, my account has been in jail. What did I miss? Well, welcome back. And yeah, we're just going through finishing up the Ethereum update at the moment. All right, let's jump into, so this is where the top digital asset treasury, Tom Lee's Bitmine immersion, is buying ETH and staking ETH, and we'll get another update next week on a Monday before the markets open, about an hour and a half before. Now, looking at a bigger picture for Ethereum, I talked to you about finance coming over, right? So one big aspect of that and is the tokenization, RWAs, and you can see that things are really starting to ratchet up here in the market. So we can see the whole tokenization trend is to the upside. And you can see that you've got US treasuries, commodities, asset-backed credit, specialty finance, non-US government debt, activity, active strategies, stocks, venture capital. It's all on the move for the most part, all going to the upside. Pretty exciting things. Ethereum, of course, is king of the hill at the moment. And of course, it's at 16.6 billion based on these numbers. It is really the king of the hill. In the markets there, 100. So that's it's pretty much the domination there. US Treasury is still dominating at half, but look, it's just all expanding really. That's all we can say about that. So it is exciting times. For the tokenization on chain. It just continues to go bigger and bigger. All right. So what else? Let's get into Pulsechain. Pulsechain, of course, has its own journey, and we're going to talk about that. We got day 1086 on Pulsechain. Pulsechain, a full system state fork of Ethereum, way back on the 10th of May 2023. Launched a couple of days later on the 13th of May 2023, and now we're 1086 days later. Pulse, of course, is sitting at 50753. It is actually up 4.4%. So I'm glad to report we got a little bit of a green day going on. PulseX at the moment, PulseX is at 5059, really cheap to pick up Pulse right now, just up 0.8%. It has got a buy and burn operating, right? That's at currently 8.91% buy and burn. Ink token at the moment, just below 36 cents, up 4.5%, slightly outdoing Pulse right now. It has essentially had its inflation turned off for the most part, and it's got essentially a fixed supply of around 56 million. So that's pretty cool. Hex at the moment, or Hex on Pulsechain, PHEX is up just under 0.14 of a penny, up 4.14% today. And then we got EHEX at the moment, 0006, and the combined price of EX and PX is just below 0.2 of a penny right now. One PHEX will get you 2.31 EHEX, so PX has strengthened up a little bit there in the last couple of days. There we go. All right, let's jump over to the gas prices. We got 1.1 million beats, so a bit more elevated than normal, and we're at 0.3 of a penny for Pulsechain swaps. It's still super cheap there. Valid is at the moment 49,881, ticking away there as well. And the bridge there sitting at 68.6 million. I think that's pretty similar to yesterday. Is it down to 200K? I think it's actually pretty similar to yesterday. So there we go. And we've still got the 15 million CST in there. So I guess we have to deduct that off there too. So there we go. Maybe we should just add up this ourselves. We might have to start using Pulsechain stats, actually. I might just go check that to make sure that we're getting accurate reporting on the bridging there. All right. Let's jump over to the Pulsechain chart. And, of course, this is what everyone's talking about. We got to find the bottom on the old Pulsechain. It's wonderful to be able to buy, lots of volume of Pulse all the time. But eventually you got to find a bottom, right? I think we can all agree at some stage you got to find a bottom. Well, let's go to the monthly quickly before we do come back to this weekly chart. And you can see that we have had quite a ride. Now, obviously, we had Pulsechain launch 13th of May. we then had the SEC harass, give her basically a dark cloud over Pulsechain for basically 2 years. And that finished on the 7th of July. We did have a relief candle once the SEC was defeated, and it really only Pulsechain can claim that, as far as I'm aware. And Richard Hart, of course, made that all happen, and we had a relief rally. But since then, we've been dogged by black swans and rotations and the fork contract issues and people taking advantage of them. We've had a few hacks along the way, so we've had quite a challenge. And over this whole period of time, we've had this, even after the relief rally, we just had 9 months, can you believe it, of a downtime. Red. People's portfolio values that had been accumulating, DCAing, of course, going down, people getting frustrated, etc., which is all understandable. We can all understand that. And of course, Richard taking a little bit of the brunt of it. And of course, recently, in the last couple of days, he's had a bit of tit for tat in defending the things that he's been doing, right? So, and also ETH's been down well below where the sacrifice money was. It was $3,773, and we're down at $2,300 right now. So, even that position's been capped, right? So we have to kind of wait for that to rise up, no doubt, in the future as well. That being said, we've got really thin liquidity on Pulsechain, which means that even a little bit of capital can really pump the chain a bit. And so we'll see what happens there moving forward. Last week, of course, we've had some sellers come into play. Some people have mentioned Betterbank, the whale hack, things like that going on. But we've managed to seems to have managed to have held above the very important line of 7,000, right? So let's go back to the weekly, and we can see this line here. We really want to defend that now, and we want to get some sort of consolidation. And probably a rule of thumb, maybe 6 to 8 weeks minimum. Some people may have it longer, 12 weeks or even 16 weeks. But I'm just taking the shorter time frame, 6 to 8 weeks. And if we can get some sort of consolidation there, we might be able to rise up with the rest of the market, which we're expecting, as I said, Takeoff time to be rising up over the next 2 weeks and continuing this relief rally, this V recovery moving forward, because crypto really has a lot of upside to it, right, compared to a lot of the other markets. And so that's kind of where our headspace is at. The fundamentals look glorious, right? Look glorious with this debt market harvesting from Michael Saylor, and of course what Tom Lee is doing in the Ethereum space, along with a lot of other players out there too. So at the moment we're kind of at this floor. We've kind of hit this floor, arguably about 5 weeks ago, and so we're just still going through there 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe we've got a couple more weeks ahead of us just to try and get some consolidation here and start to move up, right? So, yesterday we were pretty much teasing it, were we? We got down, we hit 7,000 again. We got to, 6 zeros, 5 zeros, 6,997. So we're teasing this floor here. We've tested it a couple of times now, and these are over weekly time frames. And so we're really looking to try and get escape velocity eventually. This week, what we had 3 weeks ago, we got a high of 5 zeros, 9,200. So we almost lost a zero, but that faded away, and we've gone back to test the 7,000 again. So there we go. There are, of course, the doomsayers out there that expect that we might even go down to 5,000. You guys know who you are, but it's not inevitable if we get this consolidation. We seem to be holding the 7K mark, so fingers crossed. We certainly had some bad sellers. We've had a lot of bridge money going out over this last week. What was it, about $1.25 million, 1.3 million or something like that? Hasn't been a lot of fun either. So that's not helpful. And so we'll see where we go. But we're still holding over the 7K, pretty resilient. We've got pretty thin liquidity. Even the main Pulsechain peers, they're not that big liquidity. So, it's not to say they can't go down. I mean, they can. But at the moment, we're holding that 7K mark. And, we're like 1, 2. I mean, if we could include this week as well, but I'm going to exclude that because it didn't quite hit the 7. But we do take that first week. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe we need another 2 weeks there to get us out of the woods here. So we'll keep watching that over the last 2 weeks. But, 7,000. And what does that mean? What does that mean right now? Well, Pulsechain sacrifice price, if you went to buy $1 billion, if you wanted $1 billion Pulse, you had to sacrifice around about $85,000. Now it's going to cost you $7,500. So not 85,000, but 7,500 bucks. And then down at the 7,000 mark, that was only $7,000 for a billion Pulse. So that's kind of an interesting perspective, one way of looking at it. And so you can pick up a slush of Pulse right now, and people that are still here, people that are diamond hands, people that are committed in the community, they're picking up tons of Pulse, right? They're also lowering their dollar cost average, even though they've had to, face the onslaught of 9 months of red candles and portfolios going down. They've managed, for those that have managed to purchase right now, they are dramatically lowering their DCA, which means their break-even cost on any reprice pump is dramatically lower, and they won't need near as much recovery there. You won't need a 5x, you might only need 40%, something like that. It could be that dramatic. So just take note of that. We've got Leacher in the house there, bullish. Hey, great to see you in the house. Yeah, got to be bullish right now. So that's where we are. So we keep watching the old Pulsechain chart. A nice little bounce here to 75 today. Still very low though. We've still got the 5 zeros. Got to lose that 1 0. Now, where's the mark where I think we're going to turn, right? So if we look at this chart, which is this big down chart. We've got this big long yellow line from the beginning, over 1,080 3 days or whatever it is, and we've been down. Can we consolidate here for 6 to 8 weeks? You can see in this chart we pretty much never consolidate around a 6 to 8 week period. We just go down. Can we do it now? Can we get a consolidation? Is it going to be longer than 6 to 8 weeks? Would it be 12 weeks? I don't know. We're certainly bullish about May and June with the rest of the macro market. Are we going to get much rotation? Sure, we could get some rotation out of Pulsechain into Ethereum, etc. But maybe the liquidity is so thin, maybe people are exhausted, and maybe they see Pulsechain actually as the better upside. So we'll see how those forces balance each other out. In any case, let's see if within the next 2 weeks we can join the market and make a bit of a breakout here. Where do we need to go to start to break this big yellow downtrend? Well, in my view, just based on the horizontals and the weekly moving average, it's at 1,200, right? So that mark would be here. So let me just put a little line here, and that mark would be here, right? So we've got some convergence here. We got the horizontal. So we had a lower highs, right? Lower highs. And so it's really about breaking that. So the first one for me is really to break this 1,200, and that's also the weekly 21 weekly moving average, which is a very important TA indicator for traders, is the 21 moving average. So getting over that would be very, very cool. Now, I don't know whether we come back and test that, something like that. Maybe we do something like that, and we can go up. This is only illustrative, of course, to getting an uptrend again. But that's kind of the idea. We zigzag our way back up. And so, yeah, let's see where we go. We're going to need probably just some cooling off of sellers, the buyers net buying going on. Maybe a market maker comes in. Maybe it's Richard Hart. Maybe it's, we've seen him. We saw a market maker on ProveX, and then Richard posted at the same time about it. So, who knows? That's kind of where we are right now. So 1,200 seems to be the mark for me to get some confidence back in the market, so we can start moving higher. And it'd be nice to go past that. Bit of selling, right? If people buying down here, get a bit of selling, and then we consolidate that, we stay up. Maybe we only get a 35% pullback, not a 60-70% pullback. Those are normally bad, but maybe a 35% pullback, and then we go up to the next level. That's kind of we're kind of looking for to get out of this mega downtrend on Pulsechain and start zigzagging, consolidating, and moving up over time. Would be pretty cool. Maybe a God-made candle in the piece there, and we may not have to wait till Ethereum gets over $3,700. We may not have to wait till it gets over 5K or whatever, or 10K. Because the liquidity is so thin at the bottom here, maybe it's time. And this is obviously the consolidation to the bull market type of look at the Pulsechain. Obviously, there's always a chance that something comes along, that another big wallet hack or something happens. Now, CryptoSolve indicates that maybe the contracts that copied over, that risk around maker, compound, and all that's all pretty much been exhausted, and there's not as much liquidity in those anymore. So the dumbability is lower. So we'll see how these different features of this big mega downtrend have dissipated, and it's time for us to go up. Liquidity is still pretty thin. Does it get thinner? I don't know. I'm feeling fairly good about us consolidating down here. We'll see where we go from here. All right, so that's kind of Pulsechain. Let us know your thoughts on that as well in the chat if you want, and we'll bring up some of those. Now, volume on Pulsechain is obviously very low. That's another aspect that we've seen, right? So volume at the moment, 3 million. This excludes the balance of forks, might have another 100, 200,000 in it maybe. But we're at about $3 million right now. We've been in this range quite a lot. Occasionally we've had double this, 6 million, 6.5 million. We're at 3 million right now, and we have 286,000 transactions. Now, out of this 3 million, PulseX is doing 2.6, and 9mm, our other big DEX, which is a V3 DEX, doing 340K. So those kind of are the main DEXs there. And then we have a lot of DEX aggregators like Switch, like Pateas, like LibertyX, things like that floating around there as well, right? I'm not sure Pulseswap's doing anything, but that's kind of the overall view. So still doing pretty low volumes, which means that we've only got so many peers. And I looked at this yesterday. We only had like 6 or 7 peers yesterday doing 100K or more, across the pools there based on Pulse coin list data. But if we double to 6 million, and that doubles the amount of peers that are doing over 100K, and that goes to, like maybe 14 to 16 peers or something like that. So the kind of the logic there, every 3 mil, maybe we double the amount that has in there that are doing over 100K. Right, now we got, at the moment, the top mover is Investor, sitting at $1.31. This is the grandfather, as it were, or grandparent of the OG web ecosystem, which does a lot of liquidity movements. Now, it's obviously pretty flat since the early days when this was really humming, but it is up 14.4% today, the number one on our top 100 trending. Now, none of this is financial advice. Remember, you got to do your own due diligence, etc., etc. So remember that. Obviously I'm commentating on it, but these are my own opinions, and you must do your own due diligence. Remember that. All right, so Pulse Guy is paired in with the Peacock, part of that sort of quadfecta, as they call it, sometimes, when I include the Pulse Guy at least. It is up 12.5% right now. We've got a Bonnie here. It hasn't been there for ages, but it's popped up. It's been out for over a year. I don't know this is safety of sometimes all the coins, so you just remember that. Always got to check them out. That's up 12% today, so it's come out of nowhere there. P Tiger is back in the mix as well. Hasn't been here for a while, is also from obviously Tiger Crypto God is a ex-influencer out there. Likes to shoot guns and all sorts of things like that. He's up 11% right now. And I think he talked about the other day doing something new. He's working on something else in the crypto space. Teddy Bear from James Maria, that's up 10% as well. So we've got 5 coins trending at the moment in the top 100 that are over 10%. Now, this trending view, of course, doesn't take into account all the tokens on Pulsechain. There's obviously some that are doing very well that are not on this list, but this is the default view here. Devcoin up 9.5% right now. We got number 9 is world's greatest speed printer. Of course, that's part of the Investor OG web ecosystem there. And then we've got number 10, Teddy Bear. So Teddy Bear all over the place here. Look at all these peers for Teddy Bear. So that's essentially our top 10. So not a huge day, but there's some decent little 10% performers there. Moving down a bit further, we've got a Tropa from James Maria, along with the Teddy Bear there. And then we got 9mm. Now, I did talk about 9mm. They're doing about 340, 360K in volume, and the DEX there is up 7%. In fact, it's already pre-rallying, right? So is this a bit of a leading indicator for the pulse chart that we just looked at, right? Because typically DEXs will perform well when the chain volumes go up and the chain goes up, right? That's a natural thing. And but we've already seen this sort of start to move already. So is this a bit of a sign of things to come? I don't know. It's pretty small still, but it's positive, right? Let's look at the pulse ratio. Any project that's on top of Pulsechain relative to the pulse ratio, pretty important. Now, obviously, it had some market maker volume candles coming in. These are a bit of moving the value. And look, we're up to 1,120 pulse per 9mm right now. Remember, 9mm does share its profits every month, and that's somewhere between, I don't know, probably between 15K, 20K, somewhere in there, maybe at the moment. I'm not sure if it's quite that high with volumes down where they are, but that's kind of an indicator view there. So that's ticking away. Let's look at the weekly chart for 9mm. You can see it's already kind of moving. It has been moving for months. If you look at from this low here, now let's ignore the wick, and you've got it down at 218, and now it's at 1100. So if we ignore the wick, it's up over this time is up over 190 days. So let's just say 6 months. It's up 436% on the ratio to Pulse, which is a 5.3x your Pulse. You've increased your Pulse by 5.3x. So pretty cool. So the 90 mm already on the move, and if it's already moving now, and we do get this reversal, like we do get that consolidation at 7,000 and above, and we start heading up to higher lows and start an uptrend for once, then man, 90 mm might run away quite strongly there as the volumes go up, etc. So that's an interesting one going on right now with 90 mm. Zen Dog tied into the Peacock trifecta. That's up 6.7% at number 15. Pulse Bitcoin from Fat Sammy. He did a great video yesterday, didn't it? We looked at that, and look at that chart, still going up. So there are winners on Pulsechain. You just got to be in the right thing, as I said earlier, moving forward. And let's look at the Pulse ratio there. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! 7,350. Something good's going on there. Look at it. They start off at 260. And how many weeks is that? So that's 160 days. So 5.5 months or something. And they are 23 weeks, and they are up 2,750% on the Pulse ratio. Doggity, it's 28x, almost 29x in your Pulse. So there are winners out there doing pretty amazing, and it's holding up pretty incredibly. The Pulse Bitcoin Council must be loving that. Peacock, of course, has had it's up 6.6%. It's had a few page 1 and 2 whales sell. Obviously, they've been probably rotating or something like that else. But we've obviously had, the ZKP wallet, I think it is, or ZKX wallet. I always forget what the name is, but that has been launched, and that's getting further upgrades next week. And also, we're looking for the yield product to launch, right, from LibertySwap. LibertySwap is the Kraken ecosystem expanding dramatically on Pulsechain, and we're going to see this do very well. Now, their current buy power for Peacock is equivalent to 10,000 validators, which is pretty impressive. And they're adding the yield products and the wallet and more products coming up, including lending. And so how big is this going to get, in terms of buy power for the old Peacock there? Now, they posted this. What's their wallet there? The ZKX wallet, yeah. So they posted this. Imagine what a Peacock could do for you. Obviously, got the oil prices, petrol prices there, diesel, etc. And I am inevitable, says Pulsechain Peacock. One day we'll be able to fill up our gas tanks by paying with Peacock. Just one Peacock, says LibertySwap. So, some pretty big numbers there. We've got Sean in the house as well. So, exciting times. Keep a lookout for that. So I think, possibly we've had, they've got a lot of buy and burn power there. Obviously, they build up their treasury too. They get Pulse and ETH as well with some of the revenues fees. But this is just dramatically expanding. And with the yield product expected to launch, yield product is a little bit late, but that's because, the wallet was a pretty big product. As you guys know, there's a lot of complexities going to there, and it's ramping up as well. So the yield product is coming, and then we've also got stage 2 and 3 from their Liberty, what is it called? The Liberty pools coming, etc. So we've got a lot of stuff happening in that space around the liquidity pools and stuff. We'll talk about that later on. But that is getting pretty exciting. And so maybe the selling has been done by the whales 1 and 2. I think there's one whale still out there that might sell, but we'll see. And watch this chart, right? Watch this chart going forward here as it goes. So a lot of buying support in that chart from LibertySwap fees. We're expecting that to ramp up dramatically, especially with the yield product. That could be a major shift in revenue. They're supporting the Peacock, so keep a lookout for that. And of course, as adoption goes for the wallet and usability, they'll get even more volume going through all their products in there that are incorporated. So there we go. I don't know if we've got any other things that we're going to talk about there, but keep a lookout. These guys are on the move, and you just got to be patient with these. You just sit back and let them do their thing, and you spread the word and all that sort of stuff. Play your role, and it's going to be pretty exciting. Look, is this marketing in the room with us now or coming soon? Always on the way soon, yeah. So keep a lookout for that. Now, one of the things that LibertySwap kind of teased yesterday was that they could actually that they're actually working to a whole ecosystem. So they're basically just plugging all this top tier DeFi at the cutting edge, and the ecosystem's just getting expanding, a bit like the Blob. You remember the old movie, The Blob? It's just getting bigger and bigger, and you just got to be patient and just let it expand and support it. That's pretty much it. Very, very excited about this. So this Mickey asked 2 hours ago, is any ETA on the yield product? And they got this weekend we'll be working in secure environments and double checking the code security. Obviously, security is always number one to the LibertySwap. We'll redeploy the contract next week. Just want to stay safe there. So the yield product is coming probably about a week late on that one, which is pretty unusual for them to be delayed, but it's a big deal there. So a lot of fun stuff coming from LibertySwap. So keep a lookout for that. Yield product is going to be a major one for the old Peacock. 10 million validators. I mean, it's pretty crazy. What's the yield on validators at the moment? 9%, 10%. So you can probably do some quick maths to work out what their average revenue is. I mean, it's kind of a proxy, but that's a lot of support power there. All right, so that is LibertySwap sitting. Oh, let me just jump out of there. That's just sitting there at number 1415, sitting at 1.2 cents. Is on the green, up 7% almost overnight. So maybe the page 1-2 sellers have gone, or just chilling now with the remaining bags. So we've got a lot of Peacock peers in the mix there with Zendog, of course, there. Dominance with Flexmas. So these are OG WebChef ones as well. So we've got a few OG Webs in the mix there with the PDI printer, with Finvestor at the top. And that is sitting at number 18, up 6.6%. Swarm is number 20, up 6%. With more Peacock protocols, part of the trifecta, Zero Trust there, up 6% as well. Gizmo out by itself there, not a lot of volume, but that's doing up about 5.8%. Remember, Pulsechain has mostly retail plays at the moment, right? They're mostly retail plays. We do have probably about 15 blue chips under my assessment. We got 1 or 2 of those are dynamic, meaning that they can perform at any time. LibertySwap is one of those. We do have a lot of small retail players with some very clever tokenomics, but that's kind of where they are. Now, obviously, if Pulsechain reprices and everything else, these can all just inflate in prices. That's what happened in crypto. So it's something to look out for as well. But yeah, we've only got 7 or 8 based on Pulse coin list there. They're trading 100K or more. Let's go down to Doubt Token, one of our top meme coins. Number 33 is up 4.7%. ProveX from Richard Hart. Let's have a zoom in on this. Of course, his latest project, peer-to-peer technology, currently in beta, and we have that rising in the last couple of days. So it has the bottom in, was it at 60, just below 6,300, so 6,300. Now at 6,800. The 21 daily average is currently sitting at 71.75, so let's just call it 7,200. So we've only got a little bit of a move to get there. That can happen very quickly, as you guys know. 5.6%. Many people holding the view, of course, that ProveX is the easiest one for Richard to move in the sense it has its own capital raise for it through the sacrifice. So this might be the one that maybe it does what the Hex did with the 13 parabolics. We'll keep a lookout for that theme, but certainly maybe a favored son. Maybe a favored son there. More favored than the Hex? Let me know in the chat what your thoughts are on that. We got Diamond Hand in the house there. Thumbs up. I appreciate that. Big shout out there. We got Derek from Rhinify. Hey, Superman, always a pleasure to see Derek in the house there. Rhinify, of course, crushing it with their innovative treasury, 28-day recharging tokenomics as well. Woohoo! Appreciate the super sticker there or super chat. Keep spreading the good vibes, sir. We'll do. And thank you very much for that super sticker. Much appreciated there. We've got to give the... Yeah. All right, if you haven't checked out Rhinify, give it a check out on the charts there, because they got the power of their treasury. Very cool. And of course, they did a pretty big move with True DeFi into True Farms, and I think that's worked out pretty nicely for them as well. Well done on all that. And of course, they are a partner in the True DeFi 2x Pulse system as well. You can also use their ID to get yourself a bonus, I think. Is that right, Derek? Let us know in the chat. I think that's right. We talked to them yesterday. If you didn't see the interview, was it yesterday I did it? Or yesterday, I think it was. True DeFi, check that out. It was a great interview with that team. Neil and Daniel leading the way with essentially what I call a managed fund approach to Pulsechain, making that really work. Taking, protocols that weren't really working and making it work with the SRE fund and partnership program. I think that's pretty cool, and already successfully working for 132 days and looking like it's going from strength to strength. So exciting times there. All right, so that is pretty much it with the ProveX there from Richard Art. We talked about DAO token. That's got a couple of peers ranging here. Getting to number 40, we got Curve. This is the one that's tied in, I think, kind of tokenized into the property market. So we do have some of these tokenized type of real world asset projects. I haven't really done a lot of investigation of it, so you have to do that yourself. But that is up 4.3% right now. What else we got going there? Let's scroll down a bit further here. Remember the 5th of September, another OG Web Chef project, up 4% today. And let's have a quick look at that. Shall we have a bit nosy in this one? Down chart. So we looked at some very up charts, like Pulse Bitcoin. We got a very down chart here with the old ones, but they've had their day in the sun, haven't they? They had their days in the sun. Let's have a look at the weekly candles because it's been around for so long. Obviously pretty amazing at the beginning, pretty bad down here. Rose up again, and we're back down to that floor again. Still got 106k liquidity in it. Volume's pretty low, 63. And there we go. That is remember the 5th of September. And what do you earn on that? Actually, just to remind myself, OG Web Chef printer is back, etc. So yeah, I'm not sure what's really happening. You have to go into the Telegram and see what's happening, but they haven't really been pumping it from memory. I haven't checked all the different OG Web Chefs, but it's a pretty flat system now, isn't it? So, but ticking away there. What else we got going? Reserve Day from James Murray up 4% as well. We've got a bit of a movement going on here. INC up at number 60 here. Staked ETH 61, up 3.6%. Mafia from Rack and Michelle, that's up 3.5%. That's a token launcher site, multi-chain. It's got about 1,000 validators helping with the buy support there, sitting at $2.19. So it's had quite a nice rally there. Helga at the moment, number 66, up 3.3%. Hex derivative, right? Let's have a look at that. Shall we? A little that's relative to Hex, right? So it's had a bit of a down chart there, but let's look at the Hex ratio. Obviously Pulse is down, or Hex is down and Pulse is down, and that is the ratio. So yeah, really way off there. So it used to be 1 Helga used to be 0.15 Hex. It is now down at 0.04. So really bounced off the bottom here at 0.037. But that is down at the moment. You can check out the website and all that. I really haven't covered that much, haven't I? I have in the past, like ages ago, but really stopped recovering that really. But still ticking away. What else we got there? Let's see here. Where do we get to? Helga at number 66. We got a bit of the PDC and the UFO crew. They were up yesterday overnight. The PDC was really rallying overnight, and it was on the move. But we'll get to that in a minute. We got PGC, sorry, and UFO there up about 2-3% on these particular pairs. RhinoFi, which we talked about. We got RhinoFi in the house there. So we got Derek in the house from RhinoFi, and they came with the nice super sticker there. That is sitting here where 2.9%, so doing pretty good. Now they're very clever because not only are they in True Farms now, which I think has been a great move, and of course True DeFi as well, doing the 2x miners. They also tied some liquidity into ProveX, and typically, the two favored pairs have been Peacock and ProveX. We've had a lot of teams pair up their liquidity, add extra liquidity pairs to that, and RhinoFi have done that too. So there we go, and that is the chart. Look at that. So RhinoFi has been up pretty aggressively as well in US dollar terms. So we're sitting at 0.0034. It's been up as high as 0.004 there. Market cap 240k, and the ProveX ratio. Let's look at that. See, that's going. Whoa. Oh my goodness. So these guys have been really doing good stuff here with True DeFi and the treasury and everything else they're doing. And we're now up at 5. 1 RhinoFi equals 5 ProveX. So that's been a nice way to get more ProveX, I guess, is another way of looking at that. So ticking away there. Very low volume at the moment, but ticking away there. This is the weekly charts too. Let's go to daily charts so you can see the profile a bit better there. You can see the volumes down here. The volumes are definitely tapered off there a little bit, but still looking very good, the old RhinoFi. Let's go see what they got on the buy and burn. Let's go be a bit nosy. Since RhinoFi is here in the house, let's go and have a check out of the treasury and see where that's at the moment. Now, they're on True Farms and everything else. So they've got lots of things going for them, lots of fundamentals. We're going to go to the charge cycles. They're on charge cycle 11. They got 10 days and 13 hours to go left. They got 280 million pulse in there, and currently that's in the charge cycle, but in the actual buy and burn pool, which is separate, they got 192 million pulse in there, just under $1,500 at the moment, and they are slowly buying and burning their token away constantly, pretty much, isn't it? So it was like every half an hour. Every half an hour, they're just constantly burning their token away. There we go. No doubt that's probably got some bots set up for that rather than manually. Maybe there's some guy from some third world country clicking the button. Yeah, I'm rich. All right, so there we go. We're ticking away on that one. Nice work there from Rhinify. That is just on the move. All right, so kind of cool. Let's jump away from that. And of course, as ProveX goes up, it's going to help lift them too. True Farm is at SolidX number 70, up 2.7% there from Firewall. True Farm at the moment is on the move, 2.7%, sitting up at 82 cents. So still looking very strong is the old True Farm there, one of our top 2 farms offering high APRs. So pretty amazing. Check out the website there if you want to earn passive DeFi income. And that's looking pretty good on the old True Farm. We interviewed them yesterday, so check out that stream yesterday. And then we're going to go down a bit further here. We've got Source on Mini-Meal, the big food juggernaut that never leaves. This was going to be one of our main bullish catalysts. The potential with the buy and burn to be tens of millions of dollars, and of course also the avenue to European investors as well as the Floyn market. But they decided the Floyn must have convinced them to say, hey, let's go to Solana, but they still haven't gone. As far as I can see, they're still here. The liquidity's still here, so that's sitting at 4.6 cents at the moment. So if you know your Deutschlander, you can follow the executives. What's his? I've just forgotten his name. I'm trying to remember his name now. The CEO. What's his name? He's got some funny name. Wolfgang, isn't it? Wolfgang. Something like that. So 4.6 cents there. We do have some German Pulsechain influencers. Yeah, we got German Pulsechain influencers out there, and one of them I think works in the team. And so yeah, he does videos on that, so you can check him out too. I don't know if he's been doing it recently, but saw some minimum there, up 2.4%. Emmet Farm also. So we talked about True Farm or Emmet Farm, the other top yield DeFi income platform, looking very strong at $1.39 there as well, up 2%. And of course, this is from Kairos. All right, Kairos is one of the key guys. If you want to follow, some of the key teams on Pulsechain, you got Kairos, you got Neil and Daniel, and you've got Cabal King, people like that out there pushing the high yield DeFi yield platforms on Pulsechain right now. So they're well worth following if you want to get into that space. So $1.39. Obviously, we've got lots of high yields. Go check out the website for Emmet Farm, and you can find just about every project's on there, guys. It's pretty impressive. Over a year of offering high yields, so incredible tokenomics there. Single side staking on both True Farm and Emmet, earning EDI as well. So if you just want to sit in a pool and earn EDI, that's the place to be. We've got Top Hat and Peacock, tied in the Peacock ecosystem at 1.8% from Crypto Coffee, arguably the top Pulsechain influencer on Pulsechain. And what else we got going there? Vouch, of course, recently increased their yield offerings, their flywheel with capital staking there, and they just boosted that only a couple of days ago. So those yields are flowing through, and that is up 0.75% right now. Let's have a look at the price. Now, we did interview Jexa as well the other day, which was really great. Wasn't that great? I've been wanting to interview him a long time. He's a super smart guy, excellent communicator. This is the number one valid on Pulsechain, as well as the number one liquid validating offering. The other big one, of course, is Validator X from Pulsechain. That's out there as well. So if you do want to validate, you don't want to set up all the hardware. These are 2 projects that you can think about doing if you want to just sit in, these sort of protocols and Pulse there. Different ways of looking at. The other way, of course, is you're chasing down projects that are businesses, right? And which is I like a lot. That's why LibertySwap's kind of great in that zone, creating businesses which are creating fees and revenue, and then buying up the token. And you can use the equivalents to validating income. In terms of LibertySwap, about 10,000 validators, which is about 1 in 5 validators operating on Pulsechain at the moment. So it gives these different ways of looking at the tokenomics on chain. 4 zeros, 1,000, almost 1,100 here on the old chart there. Let's look at the pulse ratio though. You always got to check that out, and it's looking pretty good. It's right in the kind of the middle zone, isn't it? At 1.46 Pulse per vouch right now, and they just boosted their yield, which is pretty cool. You had multiple tokens too in that system. They're also going to be one of the lucky two. So we've got ProveX and VPulse from Vouch are going to be two tokens that are going to be used in Fast Abdul's new project, the multi-chain liquidity fork that's going to have multiple collateral, and that's coming pretty soon. I mean, the Fast Abdul's been teasing that. It's been in public testing, and no doubt he's been watching the market sentiment as well, looking for a turn. No doubt that it's coming too, and Vouch will get supported in there. Kind of cool. All right, so then we get a lot of Richard Hart cores in here, all the way to number 84. So we've got 84 coins at the moment that are green, so that's not bad. I mean, it's not like it's not like huge numbers, but at least they're kind of green, not going down further. So it's kind of cool. Those are Richard Hart cores there, Inc. and Pulsechain. Then we get into some red ones here. I'm not going to read all these. They're pretty. We've got a lot of ones that are flat in price right now, all the way from Stacks to ZKP. ZKP, of course, is from Kairos as well. Another Kairos project, amazing project there, sitting doing pretty well. And you can buy ZKP, stake it, and earn ProveX tokens from Richard Hart, right? So that's a double whammy there. So nice move. It's also got farming support in the old Emmett farm as well for herding high yields. So some opportunities there. Pump tires. We saw the big sell-off yesterday from the whale on P-Dye. We've got pump tire die from pump tires is pretty flat at the moment. Just down slightly. And then we saw recently one of the top memes that are launched, RH Pepe, that is launched 12 days. It's down 2% right now. So probably still holding up pretty well. I haven't checked out the security for this, but people cited it as being one of the top coins. A quick intel says no issues, but once again, always do due diligence, because I don't always necessarily check stuff. It's just on the top 100, so we're checking that. But that's been a successful launch recently. Probably got a lot of cornerstone holders, right? When you don't see a big sell-off, you got to say, well, there's got to be a lot of big holders there. So just take note of that. We've got liquid loans there right now, down 5.6%. Obviously, one of the big protocols, the third biggest sacrifice on Pulsechain, was over $52 million. Crypto Crazy goes around the world doing conferences, talking about presumably liquid loans and Pulsechain to some degree, but also crypto adoption. And that we can see that chart is a down chart, not much liquidity, 30K. Look, small liquidity, you can pump it a lot, but it limits the amount of big players that can play in it, right? Because no one's going to go in there and spend all of their capital to do that. Fattening up liquidity a bit bigger might be a bit of a move there. Maybe something happens magically when the market goes. You wouldn't bank on it though. But there's a lot of money slushing around in that old sacrifice set. So there we go. That is I keep saying, because it's just so much money, right? It's so much money. All right, so we've got SCADA right now. Now that's not the only team, right? There are many sacrifice projects like the 9-inch, and that money's gone goodbye, isn't it? Mintra, that money's gone goodbye. They're probably all in Dubai and Kuwait, living it up on the old Pindas there, but that stuff's already gone. All right, so they already had their bull market, right? They already had their bull market there, thanks to the community. We got SCADA at the moment down 9% right now, and that is at 0.4 of a penny. And of course, that's part of the nuke supply team. They've also got the nuke supply team's token ICBM. That's down 11% at the moment. So just that's been a good performance the last couple of days. Just taking a bit of profit taking going on there right now. And then we've got Amiga DAO, which we're going to hear more about soon as well. Amiga DAO just launched from Cabal King. I think Kairos may have been involved with this too. I'll double check on that, but we may talk about that too. That was a big launch yesterday, was it? No, 5 days ago. So Amiga DAO in the space there as well. So keep a lookout for that. We're going to maybe end up talking about that a bit more. All right, so those are the markets right now in the old Pulsechain. Kind of cool. We've got a few more comments in the chat here, so we've got Frank Whitehouse there. I don't know. Let's scroll back up here. I'm just going to flick over to this screen for a minute, and then I'm going to pull up the Pulse coin list, because I want to look at the liquidity pools again. Just as another comparison compared to yesterday. We've got Frank Whitehouse there. Bang, bang. Late gang. Good to see you, Frank White. In fact, we might bring up PLS Start if we've got it here. I have. We might bring up Frank White's PLS Start here. Let me just pull up Pulse coin list as well. And we're going to talk about the market volumes there. And we got Leacher says Jexa's the man. Yeah, great guy, smart guy, and I really enjoyed that. It was a great interview with him. Get Hicks in the house there. Good morning. Good to see you, Get Hicks. Welcome to the chat. All right, so let's get into the PLS Start Me, and let's do that. This is the Pulsechain ecosystem, and this is from Frank White. So let's pull this in. If you guys are not aware of this, you should save it to your favorites. If you want an ecosystem map of Pulsechain, there are a couple of others on other websites. I think like Pulsechain Stats and things like that. Pulse Coin List, of course, which we're going to look at in a minute. But this is probably the most up-to-date and most comprehensive. So this is the link there to that from Frank White, and you can see the link. Bam, bam, bam. That is it there. So I hope you guys can see that in the chat. And that is pretty cool. So that is start.me, and you can see all that stuff typed in there as well. I might post that actually in the live stream on X as well, because that doesn't show up. You can see it on YouTube, but let me just. So that is the map there. You can see it's got pretty much everything on there. Of course, that's a full-time job for Frank White. We've had quite a few projects launched. Obviously, he doesn't, he avoids putting any crap projects on there. Obviously, honeypots and don't make the list. We've got dexes in there, all the dexes. If you're thinking about swapping, you got all the dexes there. Bridges, if you're thinking about bridging into Pulsechain, a lot of bridges there as well. I actually think that there's actually more than this, though, Frank. I did a list. I did a comprehensive review, and I think I came up with 28 or so. Now, quite a few of them arguably are changed now, using the change now APIs, but actually, I think there's probably more than this. Maybe I'll give you, hit me up for the chart that I had. I don't think there's a lot of new ones since I did that, maybe one or two. But yeah, I had a feeling there's 28. I don't know. It's something food for thought. Off-ramp, on-ramps, we've got lots of those in there, and plus show all 13, so there's lots more in there. Just got to show the there as well. So if you're wanting a lot of the cool sites, pretty neat. Aggregators, look at those, all the aggregators there. Swap LP tools in there as well. DApps, all the DApps in the house there. Lending and leverage project protocols. Some big names in there offering different services like the Nexian, the Fiat, and the Fame, and all those. Some of these are Aave and GMX forks. So, Pulsechain's got a lot of top-tier forks in it as well, not just innovative DeFi. Pulsechain Block Explorers, liquid staking in there, vouchers in there, Validator X, I talked about them earlier. Hex code projects, all the Hex look at all the Hex products there. So if you're into Hex and staking Hex, there's all these supporting dApps. And of course, some of those you might want to do the in-stake, right? In-stake, look at that, and restake. So it's kind of cool. Frank White's got the hearts out. I appreciate that, Frank. Nice one. And yeah, we've got other tools in there as well. Look at them all, 32. Look at that. Woohoo! Lots of tools in there. And NFT marketplaces. Yeah, well, people asked me yesterday how many NFT marketplaces we got. Well, we've still got a couple left from the looks of it. We've had a lot more before, but they've come and gone. Even some of the actual ones that actually were doing well, they've come and gone as well. I start to forget the names over time. But we've got wallets, Internet Money Wallet. Now, Pulsechain's getting more wallets. Internet Money is kind of the main dedicated wallet. Then we have these other wallets, which are various support. OKX got various support there. But ZK Wallet now, fully supported Pulsechain wallet. Yay, from LibertySwap. We've got we've got Ramp now. It's going to be another wallet coming up. So we're going to have a lot of good options. Obviously, we've got Rabby, MetaMask, Pulse Wallet. I think Pulse Wallet's still operating, right? That's kind of a Rabby fork. But actually, we've only got a very small number of dedicated, fully supported Pulsechain wallets. But they're growing. We've got Internet Money, ZKX, and we're going to have Ramp now soon. So that's cool. We're going to have some good options here. Chart trackers, obviously lots of those, and that's been a big boom, right? We've seen that a big boom over the last year. Getting portfolio trackers was really difficult on Pulsechain. That's really blown up. LP farms, of course, been a great era of innovation. Has been DeFi and passive income sites, and that's been a really big innovation area in Pulsechain. So if you wondered where a lot of innovation's been happening, that's definitely been a place where DeFi tokenomics has really been set up, as well as the products themselves, from farming to leverage all sorts of things around not just tokens but farm pools, allowing people to set up their own pools and provide their own incentives. Lots of flexibility there, and we've got lots of well-known names there like Emmett Farm, Nexian, True Farms, lots here. I mean, there's a whole list here. XUSD vaults. I mean, there's lots in the space there. Token lists. We've got lots of tokens there, of course. What else we got going on here? Privacy tools. Obviously, ZKX there, ZK Pulse. So a few options there, and obviously LibertySwap really leading the way in that too with the old privacy. So that's something you need. Trading bots, of course, have been pretty exciting for Pulsechain too. Just looking at the PGC trading bot, I think that is the Just the Pulse guy, is it? I think that's the PGC trading bots on Telegram. Community chats in there as well, so there's lots of those. Obviously, DeFi Prince has been a very big one in the house there. What else have we got in here? The Vic Foundation doing non-profit, but DeFi Prince he's been doing a lot of stuff out there in X spaces and stuff like that. So hats off to him, doing cool stuff there. A lot of page sponsors. Look at that. Woo! Look at that. Well, doing well there. Getting some nice recognition there, Frank. Nice one there. All right. Disclaimer: do your own research. Remember that. Always the case there. But pretty good list. Look at that. Isn't that impressive? Impressive list there. Oh, we got one down here. I didn't even mess that. I know we did NFTs. So a lot of projects on Pulsechain, and Frank does a great job at keeping that up to date. All right, very cool. Now, the last thing I want to get into, because we're up to an hour and 20 minutes, so I'm way over time here, but is the LP pools, and we've just got to keep a track of this. We're doing about on Deck Screener, but Pulsechain there, we got Pulse doing about 2.1 million. We got Wrapped ETH doing about 386k. We've got PulseX doing 335k. Hex at the moment, that's PHEX. You can tell by the little Pulsechain colors around it. Not blue, right? Not blue. Is 330k. PDI, a little bit of recovery today. Is at 5.6% at 1,500 a penny, 276k. We got ProveX right now at 175k. So I'm assuming the accuracy of PostCoin is a pretty reliable site, and presumably they're adding up most of the pools that actually have value. So we've got 6 coins over 100k. Earning those across all their peers, arguably, as well. So obviously, I'm just assuming that is where we are at the moment. 6 peers. Then we have other peers operating at the moment: Incentive Pool, Hex and Wrap Bitcoin, and Pulse Peacock. They're all over 50k, and Atropa as well. So we've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're over 50k there at the moment. So we've got on Pulsechain. We've got a few decent pools. Half a dozen at least doing 100k more. We've got a lot of retail plays with some very innovative tokenomics, and we've covered a lot of those on the chain. And they're typically the ones that get a lot of coverage because they've also got a pretty active community as well. Talking about active communities, obviously PDI's got a big community, a lot of influencer support. Wrap Bitcoin to some degree as well. Peacock, of course, got big community active support there as well, and so on. So yeah, it's interesting here. Where else? Emmett Farm's got a big community along with True DeFi. These guys are some of the biggest in the space right now, and they're pretty active too with Emmett Farm, True DeFi. I think Doubt, some of the main coins have decent sized communities as well. So that is in the space right now. So some interesting things, right? So if we double the volume, we'll probably double or more the amount of peers trading over 100k. We get up to 6 million, we got to have 12, 13, 14 peers. If we get up to 10 million, we're back up. What's that? 22, 23 peers that might be doing over 100k, and then it starts to get really get some momentum, right? Get some momentum there going there. Frank says, amazing overview. Thank you. You're most welcome. And thanks for doing it, Frank. That's a lot of work goes in there to maintain that. And that is the Pulsechain ecosystem map. Very cool. All right. Get Hex there. I think I said good morning to you as well, but great to see you in the chat there too. Get Hex there in our Discord community. Speaking of Discord community, we're going to wrap it up now, an hour and 25 minutes. If you haven't joined our strategy club, you want to get all the intel. I pass it through there all day, every day. about the whole crypto market. You definitely get all the hot stuff that will keep you informed about the key things happening. Then join up to our strategy club. We've got the QR code below me. You can use that with your phone. Otherwise, you can find the links in the YouTube video to join up the strategy club. It's just over $1 a day to join up, so really good value there. And if you want just general Discord membership, that's I think $12.50 a month. So there's two options there you can go for. And if you're on X, just go up to the top and you'll see the link to the strategy club. And the Whoops, you go through the Whoop Store. Whoop is one of the top places to join up to things like this. And then you'll get a link to get into the Discord. Very cool. Discord has lots of information, help desk, and just an amazing bunch of people. Over 1,000 people in the Discord there, so you'll enjoy that too. A lot of OGs as well. Damn those OGs. All right, I hope you guys are enjoying it, and I'll catch you again tomorrow for another great live stream covering Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pulsechain, and of course many other great things. And just as an honorable mention, actually, XNT on X1 chain, sort of the Solana 2.0 from Jack Levin, went on a really big tear over the last couple of days. So it's nice to see that going up. So yeah, I think it was down near 30 cents. Now is up at like 85 cents. So, well, that's a pretty good damn run on that one. So things are happening over on the X1 chain as well. I do mean to do a coverage of that. Maybe I'll do one later on, do a specialist coverage of X1. We'll see. Certainly coming soon. All right, take care. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and I'll catch you on tomorrow's show. If not, another one. Take care and bye for now.